I'd go home and study after play practice. So I wouldn't get to bed till 2 or 2:30. By the time I got to history class at 10 or 10:30, I was a little groggy. So, but even then I could keep up with everything. I helped the football players so they could study some. So anyway, I didn't see him again until he was dating. Now this is a big, I lived in the KA fraternity house.
Yeah.
There were 30 of us. And then when the men all came back and started reclaiming their houses, they moved us into the women's quadrangle. So there was a girl from Lakeland, and she had a sister. They were nice-looking girls, tall, looked like models and whatnot. And they had a Ford car. It was unusual for anybody to have a car in college.
Yeah.
Now you can't even park one, but then. And so I was walking home. It's real hilly in Auburn, you know, and a bunch of heavy books. So you're always glad if somebody gives you a lift. So she was dating him, and she came back. And he was with her and not in his car. And so she stopped and said, Fletch, see, my last name was Fletcher then, instead of Almina, everybody said Fletch. So he said, you want to ride back to the KA fraternity house? I said, oh yeah, that'd be great, thank you. So I got in the car, and I'd never seen him before. And he turned around and kept looking at me, and Norman and I would talk a little bit, and then he'd turn and smile at me, and I thought, what kind of a wolf, that's what we call her then, is that, you know, he's dating this friend of mine, and then he's turning around talking and grinning at me all the time. So we got back to the KA house, and shortly thereafter it was spring vacation, so I had to ride a train all the night to get back to Florida from there then. And so I went back a day early. I like to get back and rest up and get my room all together and whatnot. And my phone rang, and he said, what are you doing tonight? I said, I just got back. And he said, well, I came back early too. Would you like to go to a movie? I said, who is this? I was dating the head of the B12 unit at that time. So he said, well, it's Noble Overdose, mate. She was, no, oh, yeah. He said, are you sure you would like to go to a movie? So I thought, well, I didn't have anything else that night. Why not go to a movie? So I said, that'd be fine. And he said, well, I'll pick you up at a certain time. And so I was ready. We drove to Opelika and saw a double feature that night. Jesse James and the Return of Jesse James. That's some of my favorite movies. But after that, we left and stopped by a golf course and talked a long time. And I thought, gee, he's a lot like my brothers. He likes to hunt and fish and plays golf. And we hit it off real well, you know, both Southern people for a change, and this boy that was from way up north, I thought I wouldn't even know how to cook that food. He wouldn't know how to eat my Southern food. So he was a sweet, nice boy. He would bring me, every time he came to the quadrangle, he either had a bunch of flowers, and probably picked them along the way, or a candy bar or something, you know, just really thoughtful. So anyway, we found out we really liked each other. So Norma came to me and said, what do you mean dating Noble? He's the nicest young man I've ever been with. He's tall like I am, and he has a good sense of humor, and he's never said a dirty word or cursed at him. And I thought that, and he had a Chrysler car. And she said, I thought I had it made from now on. And so then I said,
Grandma
look,
was
I'm
chasing
sorry.
the Chrysler.
I had nothing to do with it. He chose me. And so I just went out with him that one time because I didn't have anything to do. And I said, then we found out we hit it off pretty well. So she forgave me. We were good friends after that. I often wonder what happened to her.
Aww.
But then that was it. And I finished college, went home, and worked all summer to get ready to get married in September.
Well, I scraped some money together, not very much, and gave Almina a ring.
Aww.
And
Now this is romantic. Have you ever heard this part? He came back from LaGrange. We'd been home that weekend, and by that time he'd sold his car. That's another story.
The Chrysler.
I should write the book. So we're walking home. We'd been to the little Tiger movie theater in Auburn that night, and so we were walking back across the campus, and we stopped at Sanford Hall, which is the oldest every time you see Auburn, it's got the old clock and the little lights were on either side of the steps. And he said, wait here just a minute, I want to talk to you. I said, okay, so we stopped it. He said, you know, I went home this weekend and I learned to tell fortunes. I said, you learned to tell fortunes? And he said, yes. And he said, give me your hand and I'll tell you, I want to tell you a fortune. And so he said, close your eyes. So I closed my eyes. He said, well, I don't know everything about your past, and I can't predict. I know pretty much about the present, but I can't predict this, but what do you think about this for our future? And then I opened my eyes and the ring has been slid on my finger. I thought, what a romantic.
That was cute, Grandpa.
That is cute. He's a romantic person, that's for sure. And he has been totally committed to me for nearly 65 years. And it's not boring.
Oh.
That's for sure.
Oh. You guys are too
Life's
cute.
always an adventure with Grandma and Grandpa.
Yep. Oh.
We enjoyed your music. You were getting pretty good there the last time you played.
Well, you don't practice very much, do you?
No.
Did you find my message on your machine?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on your phone?
We were buying your makeup when I called us. I said, how did Grandma know?
I just been hearing your voice and I wondered what was going on, and how you were doing, and
I'm feeling great. I'm doing a lot better.
I have to go over to the lab Monday and get another chest x-ray and more blood.
Oh,
And they know I need more blood. Why don't they just